In my 200 3D CAD problems in FreeCAD series, today I want to work on exercise 37. Now, exercise 37 is not that much of a complex object. The only trick here are those two counter bore holes that we have on both sides of the center holes, these ones, and in the past we have used part design workbench to take care of those. Let's do some different this time. I want to build this model in part workbench and see how difficult, or rather say how it feels to do it in part workbench compared to part design. Now this object I could do only quarter of it and then mirror it 2 times, but the middle part is an octagonal that I plan to build from a primitive because it's part workbench, so that part we can do it without the mirror. So while we do that, I'll probably go with a mixed approach here. I will probably make the whole rectangle because again it doesn't save too much when it's a centered rectangle. We can do the same 2 clicks here. So this is 50, right? And this is 120. And I can do these 4 holes. It is simple, not be that difficult. I want to make these 2 aligned horizontally. I want to make these 2 aligned vertically. Do the same thing for these 2. All right, and now so they are 10 millimeters apart from the edges. So let's go ahead and fix one of these. 10 millimeter and 10 millimeter. So that's one, and I'm going to go ahead and do this opposite corner one. I could do a 10 millimeter square in construction geometry here, but I will be trimming those corners away. So all right, so that's fixed. Now I'm going to go ahead and then fix this diameter. It will be 5 millimeter radius, 10 millimeter diameter. Again, I could do that in mirror, but it would not save much of an effort, so I'll just do it all together. That will come up for 10 millimeter. All right, we got our base. Now let's work on the octagonal. The octagonal is at the center, so should not be a problem. I want to offset the base, offset the sketch for 10 millimeter to avoid any topological naming issue should it happen. And at the center of the octagonal there is this hole, this circular hole that's about the same level. So let's start with that one and then go find an octagon from this option and open it up like this. So we want to keep it like that, right? I want to make this one horizontal. Now having the radius fixed with this one would constrain it, but we don't have the radius. All we have is the dimensions, which is 8.3 and 8.3. So this dimension is 8.3 plus 8.3. But that still does the trick. And what else do we have? The center. The center hole is 20 millimeter diameter. So let's go ahead and then fix 10 millimeter radius on there. So that's our second sketch octagon. And I want to pull that up for 22 millimeter. Okay. Well, that's a rather unusual dimension. We always have and then 20 and 25. Here comes 22. All right. Well, we have two extensions here. I guess we could do that while we are building this. So let's go ahead and then build two rectangle, octagonal and rectagonal. That's fun. Anyway, so let's go ahead and build this. I want to pull this one a little bit and delete these two lines, two extra lines. Now this is fixed there. I want to make these two coincident. All right, and this length is given as 15. We got that, and this length will be 15 as well. Now this is fully constrained, but there is a problem. These two lines are kinda unusual now that we have another outer boundary. These two lines will not be handled kindly with the sketcher. So let's go ahead and then make those construction geometry while we have this window open. Now it's one outer boundary, one inner boundary. That makes sense. So still it's fully constrained. I would rather make them construction, but I would not delete them. Deleting them would create additional issues. All right, there it is. We got our that part taken care of. Now about these holes, because we don't have that make hole with counterbore option available here that we had in part design, we could go to fastener and then find a suitable fastener, or I would rather do it here in part. Let's go ahead and then hide these two. All right, and so this hole is essentially two cylinders of two different diameters. So I'm going to go ahead with the first cylinder and get this dimension from here. The length is 25 millimeter and then diameter is 6. So the length, or rather height, is 25 and the diameter is 6, which means radius is 3. And it's there. Now it's sitting at the base where the sketch, the initial sketch is, where the origin is. But our cylinder, our hole starts a millimeter above the base. So let's go ahead and take the cylinder, and in the placement, in the position, let's make it C1. So it is sitting 1 millimeter above this. Yeah, there it is. You can see it. It's sitting 1 millimeter above the base, and that's what we wanted to do. Now let's go ahead, take care of the top. So that will be another cylinder of diameter 12. So another cylinder diameter will be 12, right? And height is given as 6. All right, so there is this cylinder. It will sit above this one, so which is sitting at 25 height, 1 millimeter from the base, so which is sitting at 26. So let's take this cylinder. Where it says 0, we will add 0 plus 26. If it was like 5, it would be 5 plus 26. And there it is. That's our screw that we will have to cut out. I'm gonna make it 1 unit. And fusion, I'm going to say hole left. Let's make a copy of it. Just want to make that copy and paste it and rename that as hole right. Let's bring these two back. And I want to make these two 1 unit first. All right. And there it is. So I'm going to say object. It's not final object, it's still object. And on this whole right one, let's see how far it is. They're 26 millimeter out on left and right side. So right side, I want to make that x 26 there. On the left, I want to make that minus 26. Pretty cool. Now what I want to do, so this is these two we want to cut them out, so let's make them one object. Okay, and that will be holes. Take the object, take the hole, make a cut, and there it is. That's our final object. So here we build the object pretty simple using the primitives and basic sketch. I will see you next time.